Orca Song by Michael C. Armour, illustrated by Katie Lee. A rosy sun settles over the sea. A dusk wind dances up the waves. The moon climbs out of the Olympic Mountains, and 8 orca whales come leaping up the Washington coast. Stories are told that 50 million years ago, ancestors of the orca whale walked upon the land on all fours, but they so loved the water, they gave up their hands and legs to have fins and tail flukes. Now, orca is the greatest and most powerful hunter in all the oceans of the world. The leader of the pod, bull orca, echolocates. By sending vibrating sounds through the water, he can locate and tell the nature of objects far beyond his sight. He finds a school of salmon circling within fishermen's nets. It is a familiar practice. The whole pod will slip into the nets to feed, then escape before the fishermen notice. Splashing and singing at the rear of the group, not at all like a hunter, is Orca the pup. Bull orca suddenly turns the pod toward the net, and he and the herd speed to the noisy, splashing salmon. Just at that moment, Pup turns the opposite way, toward a juicy salmon nearby. As Pup's great jaws open to snatch his catch, a storm of fishing boats close in on the whales. Bull orca wheels around, and the pod races for safety. Pup moves to join them, but he can't. His dorsal fin is caught in a sunken, abandoned cargo net. Pup wiggles and squirms. He bucks and thrashes. The net only gets tighter. Then he lies still, nearly out of breath, too weak to call out. Above him, the rumbling of the boats grow fainter as they move away more than 100 yards from her side. But her voice, like the others, soon fades. In the watery silence, the sunlight begins to disappear. Pup must have air, and he must join his family. He tries one last time to break free. The muscles along his back tighten. His 4-foot tail flukes strike downward. His sharp teeth cut sideways. At last, the net's mesh snaps. His 3-ton body rockets towards the surface. He is free. Air. Night air rushes into his blowhole. His lungs fill like balloons. But the fight has tired him. Alone and exhausted, Pup drifts half asleep through the lonely moonlit seas, closer and closer to land. From the shadowy hills nearby, ancient totem poles rise up to the stars. For centuries, the Native Americans along the western coast carved totems that celebrated orca's brave hunting skills. But unseen by Pup, the totems slide by as the moon goes out of the sky. Dawn breaks. Pup awakes, feeling the sun's growing heat on his back. Unaware, he had drifted towards the shore and became stuck in a shallow pool of water. The waves must have pushed him here in the night. The ongoing tide has left a sandbar between him and the sea where he belongs. No whale can endure so much direct sun, and the sun is still rising. Pup has grown to understand the meanings of many sounds in the sea, yet surrounding him now are strange voices. Along his back, he feels many soft tickling sensations. Suddenly, he is being moved. Something is pushing him through the rising water of the incoming tide, pushing him back to sea, back to the cold, back to life. He takes a grateful gulp of air and dives down past the dark underwater caverns, down past the fluttering kelp beds. The cold water cools his body. Pup begins to echolocate. He finds a school of herring and races for it, but Pup is young and inexperienced. All the fish hear him coming and scatter. Still alone and looking for his family, Pup sees 3 humpback whales rise up out of the hidden valleys of the undersea. Their slow whistling songs are different than the songs his family uses, but within the notes, as if from a far-off world, Pup hears another more urgent song, an orca song. Pup turns and drives his sleek body towards the surface. He breaks out of the water in a skybound spiral. He lands with a tail-whopping splash that can be heard clear to the mountains of the Olympic Peninsula. He looks for signs, a fin, a fluke, any signs along the coast. And then, silhouetted against the sunset, Pup sees them. 7 whales, his very own family, rising out of the waves, coming for him. They have not left him. They have come back. Their songs of happiness race before them like ribbons of joy. Orca the pup is home again.